hotel room because I'm at a conference. And while I'm here, I thought, let me share some really quick tips about how to write your about page and give you the best kept secret on what your about page is actually about. Okay? So, I only tell these secrets to people like in my inner circle. And since you're in my inner circle, I'm going to tell you. But we have to get really close because I have to whisper. I don't want everybody to know the secret. I only want you to know. Okay? So, here's the thing. Your about page has nothing to do with you. What? Yeah, I know. First time I heard that, I was a little bit shocked too. But then I started reading about it and I started thinking and I realized, well, human nature is really selfish. And the only thing that most of us care about is really, ding, 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 ourselves. So I want to help you by giving you 10 secrets, 10 tips to writing your about page and the things that you really need to include in it to make your customer or your client feel welcome on your website, make them stick around, want to buy from you, and want to cultivate relationships with you. Because that's what it's all about, right? The people that I work with are heart-centered. They're entrepreneurs who care about giving back to the world. And so if you want to give back to the world, you have to offer your value. And in return for your value, people give you what? Cha-ching, money. Money is good. Don't run from it, okay? So I'm going to start by telling you guys a little story, all right? Imagine me, little old me, sitting at a party, hanging out. I've got, I'm standing in a corner, and all of a sudden this guy comes over and corners me, okay? And he's like, hey, how are you doing? I saw you standing there. I want to talk to you. I'm like, oh, great. Nice to meet you. I have a really friendly face. I'm used to that. People come up to me all the time, and so I love it. I love talking to people. So the guy starts talking. He's standing over here, First thing he says is, I'm Paul. I'm from Minnesota. I am an investment banker. I've been doing it for 12 years, and I really love it. At home, I've got like 4 kids, and I drive a Mercedes-Benz, and I really love myself. And I've traveled to this country, and I've traveled to that country, and I graduated from this school, and oh my gosh, are you guys exhausted as I am just by hearing the story? The story is exhausting. Well, the first chance I get when people like Paul show up standing next to me and cornering me, which happens quite a bit actually, is that I smile and I nod. I'm like, oh, that's nice, Paul. And I'm looking around. And back in the old days when I wore a watch and checked my watch, and these days I look at my phone, and then I see someone I know across the room and I think, oh, all right, Paul, it's so nice to meet you. I gotta go, I gotta run, and I dash across the room. Why? Why do I do that? Well, it's really only because of one thing. I care about myself too much to want to hang out with a guy like Paul. What? No, I'm not a selfish person, but yeah, I am a selfish person. I only want to hang out with people who are a little bit, at least, remotely interested in me. So if Paul shows up and he says, hi, I'm Paul, he should also ask, who are you? Where are you from? How are you feeling today? Right? So how does that relate to your about page? I know you're wondering. It's the same thing online as in real life, okay? Going to a party where there's tons of people in the room and interacting with people and being able to draw people in, having that thing that's called charisma that makes people want to get to know you. They feel like you're interested in them. They feel like you want to get to know them. And that in return makes them want to get to know you. And you cultivate a relationship and it becomes give and take. And you start to do each other favors. You start to hang out with each other. If you've got kids, maybe you can ask each other to babysit. It's a give and take. It's a human thing, right? Well, online is no different. Online is an extension of the physical realm. So your website is your home. So when people come over to your house, you need to invite them in. You need to make them feel comfortable. So, without further ado, I want to share the 10 tips that I would give Paul in order to help him keep me around if we ended up at the same party and the party happened to be his website. So, I want Paul, or you, I want you to think about what I'm feeling. What keeps me awake at night? What am I going through right now? Think about that and use those things as the hook to your about page. The second thing that I would tell Paul is that he should really think about how his ideal customer is feeling. Not just that, why she's feeling that way. Okay, so there's the how and there's the why. They're similar, but they're separate. So you got to look into it, think about it, go deeper. The third thing I would say is that you don't want to get too depressive, okay? I know a lot of us can get stuck in that complainer mode. No, we don't want to go on and let our ideal customer feel like, okay, this is a space to whine. No, this is not a space to whine. We want to give her hope that it's going to be better, that things don't always have to be this way. Give her an idea of, yeah, you're here now, but you can get there. It can get better. The fourth thing that I want you to address is that you need to reassure her that it doesn't, just because this is going on right now for her, it's not her fault, okay? As humans, we don't like to own completely everything that's going on with us. We have a little bit of a victim thing, all of us. No matter how much you think you might not be that person, sometimes you're always looking to deflect a little blame. So let her feel like, oh, I know right now things are really hard, but it's not all your fault. I understand that you've got other things going on in your life. You're so busy and, things can get better. It's not all, on your shoulders. The fifth thing that I could tell you is that you need to tell her who you are. Okay, that sounds weird, right? Who I am, but I've already told her, I've already explained that I know how she's feeling, and I've already showed her that I know why she feels that way, and I've already told her that it can get better, and on top of that, I've already reassured her it's not all her fault. And now, only now, I get to introduce myself. I know. Paul would have a heart attack because he would be like bursting at the seams, asking all these questions and feeling, the sense of empathy for someone else. Paul wouldn't really work out here. But this is the chance for you to introduce yourself. Only at this point, after you've already hooked them, after you've already shown them that you understand them, now you can show that you're the absolute best thing that's ever happened to them. So you do this by telling them who you are and who you help. And who you help is people who are just like them, right? So describe them back to themselves. The next thing that I want you to do is tell them exactly who you help. Now, you don't have to be very, very, very specific with this. You can be broad. So if you're a health coach, you could say you help people who are on a fitness journey trying to lose weight. You also help people who have don't need to lose weight, but they want to maintain the body that they already have. Or you could also say you help new moms who want to get their body back and get their sexy back and feel good about themselves. So you see that 3 different types of people that you can help. You don't have to get really niched down that deep. You know that you're a fitness coach. You have all the tips, the tricks, and the techniques to help them. And those are the types of people you help. The next thing that you would want to address on your About page is why you. Okay, so why you is more about explaining your credibility and showing your status than it is about you talking about yourself and your journey and all that stuff. That stuff is important. Sprinkle it in, but the most strategic thing that you can do here is really show why you're the expert, the go-to person for your ideal customer. That could be things like, if you have a degree in the subject, if you have a certificate in the subject, if you've had 10 years of experience in this subject, something like that will show that you are the perfect person to be helping. The next thing that you want to show is how you work, or explain how you work when you are on your About page, when you're writing your About page. Explain how you work to your ideal customers. So for me, as a copywriter, I show, I do a discovery session. I do a intense session to get to know my clients, and then I get to work writing copy. That's how I work. Pretty simple. Next, you might want to share something that makes you unique. Let's see. For me, what makes me unique as a writer, maybe I could say I've worked on writing assignments in South Africa and in the United States. I've written for a number of different media, from newspaper, TV, radio, to websites. Another thing that makes me unique is that I'm really happy and positive pretty much all the time. That makes me unique and fun to work with. Make sure everything leads back to why you're awesome for your ideal customer. The next thing that you would want to address is, and this is the last thing, so it's not next, it's last, okay? It's, you don't want to leave them hanging. They've spent all this time getting to know you. They've read through all this stuff. They've really read about themselves, getting to know themselves and how you can help them. So you want to know, they want to know what they can do to keep in touch. How can they work with you more? Give them something that prompts them to action. Something like, if you want coaching on this subject, click here to get to my Work With Me page and book in a session. If you want tricks on how you can improve your life, click here to download my PDF and get a checklist on how to improve your life. Give them something tangible to do. If you've got a blog, maybe you could prompt them to visit other pages on your other posts on your blog and leave comments. You want to give them something to do. Humans, we take direction pretty well. Don't leave us hanging at the end with nothing to do, because they've spent all this time with you. They've made all the effort to get to your website. They've read through this whole thing. Now they probably want to cultivate a relationship. Make it easy for them. So that's it from me. 10 tips on how you can help your ideal customer understand why you, and 10 tips that you can use to make your About page better, easier, and more fun for you to write. So thank you very much for sticking with me, and if you learned anything from this, I'd love it if you leave a comment down below, or you can click on my Work With Me page, and of course, book in a session, and we can talk about your ideal customer and what you can do to make your website more compelling to them. So thank you very much, and have an awesome day.